and we are going to react to David Jaffe. Now, if you guys are unaware, there's been a certain situation happening with David Jaffe and Asmongold. But apparently this video is almost 1 month old, which is hilarious, by the way. But people are picking up on this video now because they want to talk about it, because Asmongold's clip is going viral now. So it's kind of like just retroactively people talking about it. But we haven't reacted to a David Jaffe video in the longest time. So I figure, hell, let's react to a David Jaffe video today. And let's see what he's got to say against Asmongold and trans kids. And obviously you guys know, yeah, he cut his hair. Obviously you guys know David Jaffe is the father of a trans child. So obviously he's going to take some major offense to Asmongold talking about, you know, parents who have trans children are essentially all mentally ill. Like, obviously he's going to have a big problem with that. So this is David Jaffe, the god of cuck himself. And this is going to be the first video we're reacting to on Streamlabs with no lag. Enjoy.
The Asmongold video responding to me, responding to him when he was watching the trans activist at the town hall. And I was going to address it in today's live show, and then I realized, wait, he didn't make a new video. This is what I've already responded to, right? So I'll put the link below, timestamped, if you want to watch the whole response, but here are the salient points. Number one, this was not a hate crime. People are using that, I mean, it was a crime, it was terrible, but it wasn't a hate crime apparently, and people are using that and saying, you didn't do your research, Jaffe, you accused this, blah, blah, blah. I did do my research. I did the research that was available at the time. Here is what I said in the very video that we're talking about. And while there is... Again,
I have trouble listening to someone who says they did their research and then come to find out, you know, they believe in trans kids. Like, we're never going to ideologically see eye to eye to this, and I fully understand that. I don't expect us to, but it's one of those things where it's like, bro, really? Seriously? Like, what did you research? Did you research, or did you affirm your own bias? You know what I mean? Because there's a difference, right? A lot of people say they did their research, but did you really? Or did you just look to confirm your own bias by the information that you looked up? Like, did you curate the information that you look up to make sure that your bias continued? You know what I'm saying?
There's no definitive proof this was or was not a hate crime. They asked the police captain, said such determination has not been ruled out, nor...
So wait a minute, you don't even know if it was a hate crime at all, and you're automatically... So not only... So let me get this straight. So...
I felt it probably was a hate crime. It was...
You should have let him finish speaking, Jaffe.
But it seemed, based on sort of historical evidence, it probably was. And by the way, I'm not the only one who thought, when we heard the news that was available at the time, that this was probably a hate crime. Here's somebody you might know who also seemed to agree. Let's just, for the sake of this conversation, assume that this very much probably was some sort of a hate crime, because this
I would assume that it was too, but I mean, the police don't.
Another thing that came up was the idea that I was accusing Asmongold of leading to hate crimes. This is, you know, I don't know, maybe you should watch the video. In fact, your good buddy Asmongold actually kind of came to the proper conclusion. Here you go. People like Asmongold, in my opinion.
Yes. Please say that I promote killing transgender people. Please say it. I want to hear it, David.
It's intentional. I don't think he's asking or advocating for violence against people.
I find it honestly hilarious how these two go at each other over and over and over again. Like, these two constantly go at each other, which is just hilarious to me. And it's always on this subject. It's never actually about video games or anything like that. It's always on this particular subject of trans kids. And it's like, both of you are supposedly gaming content creators, and yet the only thing you really want to talk about is trans ideology, whether it's for or against. when you're talking about each other. But anyway, let's continue.
I'm not saying he caused this at all. I think people should be responsible for their own actions, and this guy, I do defend his right to say whatever he wants, but I just, the amount of...
By the way, I don't believe Jaffe at all when he says he defends the right for people to say whatever they want. He says that to protect himself so that he can seem politically neutral, but let it be very clear, I do not believe that in the slightest. I would guarantee this man would advocate if there was an opportunity and he saw it and he could take it with minimal backlash to go his way, he would advocate for the censorship of people that ideologically disagree with trans kids. Guaranteed, bro. I would put money on that.
Of hate. So again, I really don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I have never accused him of directly being involved in any kind of situation that was...
And this is also why I don't like response after response after response. When people do videos responding to each other, I don't like it, because then there's always that one side that was selectively edited to make their argument look better, make their, conversation look better. And that's what I feel like Jaffe's doing here. When Asmongold uploads a video, all he cuts out is the dead air. And that's sometimes he leaves it in, but he doesn't really cut it too much. And so you kind of get for the most part, the full picture. But this is why, like, these two kind of people, they should just get together and have a conversation live on stream so everybody could get a full context conversation without any constant selective editing, cutting back and forth from either side or whatever. But they're never going to do it because, quite frankly, Asmongold's too big, number one. I don't think he wants to give Jaffe the clout, number two. And Jaffe knows that he's never going to be invited by Asmongold to have a conversation, no matter how much he tries.
Was born out of his direct influence. Do I think he spreads a lot of hate or a lot of misinformation or a lot of animosity or shaming towards
again, when somebody claims you spread misinformation and then they also try to claim that their son is a daughter or their daughter is a son, let it be known, don't listen to that person.
Marginalized group, I do.
You could believe whatever you want to believe, that is your right, but let that be clear. You cannot claim to be against misinformation and then literally spread statistic misinformation. That is just not, that's not a thing.
But he's allowed to do that. I support his right to do that, even though I think it's terrible. His right meaning his First Amendment right. I don't mean like, hey, go out and do that, it's good. But, people have a right to say stupid shit. And then finally this idea of people coming in and saying, this is the one that really makes me worried about the educational system, the lack of media literacy, this idea that, hey, I'm not against the trans community, but look at this clown show. Look at how this person expressed it. Here's a little bit of that.
If you want people to not treat you like a joke, then don't act like one.
You're wrong.
If you act psychotic, and if you act hysterical, you're rude, you're loud, people are going to think that you're an asshole.
Real quick, shout out to Raking Knight. I didn't realize, brother, I'm sorry. I'm struggling to control both chats right now, but Raking Knight rated us over on Rumble. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you for that. You are a legend, bro. Seriously, I appreciate that. We're going to get to the Rumble rants after this as well.
There's no reason that this person needs to behave and act and speak the way that they did. And if you look at the actual LGBT activists that in the past actually made real change, and I'm talking about not just getting likes on Twitter, but actually changed the world and changed the way that people saw the world, they didn't act like this.
Okay, and so I have to pause this. I'm sorry, but this is the problem with this argument, which is when people who are in power or people...
Yeah, this conference that he's referencing, that Asmongold is referencing, it's a fucking clown show, bro. Like, who goes to a government official place and thinks that it's in your best interest to dress and act like this and then try to enact social change by doing so? Who is going to listen to you and think, oh yeah, you're the one we need to listen to? Yeah, you're the one who's clearly level-headed here. You're the one who's not insane. Yeah, we're going to listen to you. That makes sense.
People who have authority don't want other people to take that authority or get their way. They lay on the people that are protesting, why don't you just go through normal channels? Why are you such a pain? Why are you so weird? Why are you being so flamboyant? Why are you sitting down in front of traffic? All you're doing is hurting your cause for Palestine if you sit down in front of traffic and block our way to work. That is what protest is.
No, it's not.
Okay? Going through normal channels results in Nancy Mace using the TRANNY word over and over and over on a national platform. That's what it looks like when you play by the rules that the people who are in power have set up. So yes, the only way, the reason we're even talking about this,
bro, it's a protest. You're not trying to overthrow the fucking government, my guy. See, the problem is that you're trying to conflate protesting with extreme action that is usually used during some sort of, I hate to use the word, but insurrection of some kind, right? Or an attempt, even so, at an insurrection. Like you guys block traffic, which results in blocking emergency vehicles. Somebody could be dying in a fucking ambulance. Somebody could be trying to, basically giving birth and need to get to a hospital. There are things that could be happening. There are things that could be happening that you are stopping because you want people to listen to you about how oil is bad for the world. It's like you can't, or how trans kids are trans kids are kids or whatever. I don't know what's even the phrase that they use. The point is, like, anything could be going down. Somebody could be dying. Like, literally, a couple of seconds matter. A couple of seconds matter. What do you think? Why do you think they have a rule for all the cars to move over on the side of the road for emergency vehicles behind them? But you want to talk about how the earth isn't, bro? I can't with these people, man. Again, they confuse protesting and activism with essentially riot strategies. They confuse it with hardcore strategies that are used when you are trying to overthrow something, right? So this is the problem. If you sit in the middle of the fucking road and you block traffic and you are abusing people's empathy for not wanting to harm human life to make them listen to you, then you're an asshole. You're an asshole. See, it's manipulation tactics. So you think people are going to listen to your cause because you forced them to, because they didn't want to run you over? You think that's the way to create change, by forcing people to listen to you because they don't want to run you over, because they don't want to hurt you, when you could be more successful by convincing them through your words and through certain actions? But you're literally just holding them hostage and saying, you're not leaving until you agree with me. What the fuck? Do you think people are really going to agree with you? No. They're going to be like, yeah, I'm all for trans lives, yeah. And then you're going to let them pass, and then they're going to go home, and guess what? They're going to be like, honey, you won't believe the psychos that I met today. You won't believe what I had to deal with today. These fucking psychos who truly believe trans kids are a thing, they were holding up the road. And I tricked them and told them that I totally believe in their cause, and they let me go. And it worked. But if I didn't say that, I wouldn't have been able to leave. They're not going to be for your side. You're only going to temporarily convince them just so they could get away from you.
Is because this person that Asmongold was responding to is protesting correctly. Name a protest that has ever been actually...
I'll put it to you like this. It's very similar to the training regimens that a lot of corporations do for their employees, like Target, Walmart, Best Buy, all these companies. What they do is they make you take DEI courses, right? That basically tell you if you're white, you're evil, and if you're black, you're on a trophy pedestal, essentially. They make you take these courses, and they make you take it until you essentially click and say, I agree with the ideology. You can't click and say, no, I don't agree. You can only click and say, I agree, and keep clicking to go forward. That's the only way you could do that. So essentially what it is they're trying to force you into saying, I agree with this ideology. I agree. And then you realize that, oh, when you talk to most people, most normal people, especially at those jobs, they don't believe any of that shit. They only clicked agree. So on paper, you have 100% agree, right? You have 100% agree metrics. Nobody disagreed with you on paper. But then if you were to poll them in real life and you made it anonymous so they wouldn't get fired, guess what? I guarantee you that number would be like 20% or less. Because people just say what they got to say to be left alone. They just want to be left alone. You're not convincing anybody by holding them hostage. You're not doing that.
Successful. Name a movement that has ever been actually successful that's like, excuse me, sir, may me and my group have our rights? May we have more rights? Can we take some of the power that...
No, you can't have more rights. How about that? You can't have more rights. You have the same amount of rights as everybody else. See, that's the problem. You want more rights. You want more rights than everybody else. You're not fucking special. You're not special. You have the same rights as everybody else, my guy. So what are we talking about here? Unless you want to bring up the conversation about what? Like birth? What are we talking about?
You have basically taken away from us as equals that you're now using to line your own pockets.
So you just admitted that you're equals, number one. Number two, what rights were taken away from who are you? What are you talking about? You're a rich white guy. Why is he saying us? Why is he saying like, see, this is the problem. These people are so hive-minded that they can't even separate themselves. This is a rich white guy saying that we've taken away rights from them. From what rights? What rights were taken away?
And build your own power. Can we take some of that? Would you mind if we had a little bit of that, please, so we cannot live in the shit?
Live in what shit? What shit does he live in? This guy's rich. He got rich off of God of War. What are we talking about? What the fuck? What is happening here?
It doesn't work that way. That would be like going to Hitler in World War II and going, I appreciate you don't like the Jewish folks, but would you maybe not kill them? Maybe. All right, just think about it. Don't want to offend you. Don't want to offend you.
You realize that there were diplomatic attempts that were made before it just ended up in war, right? Like you realize that even if they didn't really go anywhere, like people did try. So there always is an attempt to end things diplomatically. Just the same thing with the Japanese too. You think Hiroshima just happened on a whim? No. We threatened them. We said let's end things. Let's try to end things the proper way. And they said, "We no surrender, white boy." So it didn't work out, right?
That's how it works, Asmongold.
That'll nail you up to it. It's fucking obnoxious. It's annoying, and everybody can
see it. It's
see
supposed to be annoying.
It's exhausting.
It's supposed to be annoying. It's called protest. They're not coming over to your house to fucking play Mario Kart. It's supposed to be a thorn in your side so you pay attention. Right? I don't understand how you don't understand, if you've been to an 8th grade civics class, how
a protest is not meant to be annoying. A protest is meant to be effective. And you're not going to make your protest effective by holding people hostage and being annoying. Right? That's just not going to happen. There are ways to make your protest more effective without being an annoying fuck and risking the lives of other people. That's what I really don't get, right? I really don't get the whole standing in traffic thing. I'll never agree with that. I don't get the whole blocking people from going to work. I don't get the blocking of the emergency vehicles. I don't get any of that. And I especially don't get when the cops partake in that too. Like, you have cops that will barricade behind a wall of flesh of liberals on a highway and uphold the protest. And meanwhile, there's emergency vehicles being held behind. And then people try to say, well, it's because the cops are trying to, the cops already know the protest is happening, so they're redirecting all emergency vehicles away from that particular highway. It doesn't matter. The highway is the fastest way, the majority of the time, to get to a destination. So you're forcing emergency vehicles to take longer than they have to get to their destination when they don't have to. Seconds matter, right? Seconds matter in situations like this.
Test is supposed to work, but you know, maybe you don't. Maybe you're in a position where you've never needed to protest, so it's just inconvenient to you. But newsflash, it's supposed to be inconvenient for you. It sucks, but you know who we should make it inconvenient for? The 1%, who creates all of this drama and anger and animosity towards all of us. Those are the people that are fucking us, folks. It's not the left. And it's not the right. I mean, it is, but that's only because we're being convinced the other side needs to fucking die, and it's terrible. People make money off this hate, and
bro, Jaffe is literally a rich white guy. I wouldn't call him the 1% because I don't think he's that rich, but I'm gonna safely call him the 3% or higher. I'm going to call him the 3% or higher of the entire country, considering that it doesn't take much to get to that 3% when you really think about it, especially when you are somebody like David Jaffe, who gets rich off of an IP like God of War, I mean, let's be real. He's not the 1%. The 1% is like wild numbers. But he is definitely he's definitely top percentage for sure. Ultimately, you know, I agree somewhat with what he's saying about how it's really like it really shouldn't be a left or a right thing. It should be an overall governmental thing. But unfortunately, it has become a left or right thing because there are a lot of people that like to fight on both sides. But there is one side in particular that is very violent. Very violent. And I would hope that Jaffe is smart enough to realize that, but chances are it's not that he's not smart enough, is that he just can't go, he can't speak against it, right? He can't speak against the ideology no matter what. He just can't. The ideology has to maintain importance at all times. He has to maintain importance at all times with the ideology. So, you know, for him, it's one of those things where he'll say, oh, it's not left or right, but we all know he really does believe that. Like, he does believe the right is evil because he says all the time, you say dumb shit, you say hateful shit, you say blah, blah, whatever. So he obviously has his thought processes about the supposed right anyway. And the funny thing is, most of the people he probably disagrees with is probably not even politically just right wing. That's the ironic thing. These people are so hardcore with their ideology that they think every disagreement is automatically a conservative, religious, right-wing person. That's not the case at all, bro. There's a bunch of centrists out there that absolutely disagree, or center-right people that absolutely disagree, or even some center-left people that absolutely disagree. But if you're not left, then you're automatically right. That's just how they see it, man. It's sad, but it's true.
That's my point. That's my point. But there's your response. Be well.
Well,
people have been asking.
That's it. That is it for that. So anyway, that was a shitty video. It wasn't even that much of a response. It was more like just, here's why I thought what I said wasn't fully fleshed out. So let me repeat it, make another video, gain some views, and be along my day. That is insane, bro. Yeah, I'm good.